Валентина Скультэ, английский для детей, страница 342, 34 урок, вторая часть. The 34th lesson. Lily and Jimmy get into a scrape, continued. It so happened that Mr. Christine had left his spectacles at home and had to come back to fetch them. As he approached his house, he saw the little red figure of his daughter creeping along the wall high above the ground. The sight took the doctor's breath away. His eldest son Sam was standing nearby watching his little sister with great interest. The boy did not see his father, who was peeping from around the corner of the house. Mr. Christine waited until Lily was safe on the ground, and then he ran up to her and scolded her as he had never scolded her before. Sam ran away as soon as he caught sight of his father, and Jimmy scurried away like a frightened rabbit, leaving his little friend to her fate. Страница 343. Mr. Christine was furious. He scolded her tremendously. He said that he would flog Sam and Jimmy and would tear all the stories to pieces. He said he was ashamed to have a daughter who looked more like a dirty little pig than a nice little girl. He forbade her to play with her boyfriends anymore. He forbade her to climb trees and fences. He said that Jimmy should be sent away to school at once. Then he pushed Lily into their room, slammed the door behind her, turned the key, and putting it into his pocket went down to the Dales to tell them the story. Lily crept into bed, crying bitterly. She felt very miserable. It began to rain. The house was still. Lily cried and thought of Jimmy, whom Mr. Christine had promised to flog. That thought made her cry again, and she sobbed into her new pillow for a long time. Finally, she cried herself to sleep. Words: to approach, приближаться, figure, фигура, above, над, breath, дыхание, to take someone's breath away, захватить дыхание, to watch, наблюдать, сторожить, around the corner, за углом, safe, благополучно, to spank, шлепать, to catch sight of, заметить, увидеть, to scurry, убежать, удрать, fate, судьба, tremendously, ужасно, чрезвычайно, to flog, пороть, стегать, to tear, рвать, разорвать, tore, past, torn, past participle, dirty, грязный, to forbid, запрещать, forbade, past, forbidden, past participle, should be sent away, здесь следовало отправить, to slam, захлопнуть, miserable, несчастный, finally, в конце концов, she cried herself to sleep, она, плача, заснула, nearby, рядом. Страница 344. Задание. Translate into Russian. Translate into English. They quarreled a lot as each one wanted to be the first. Они много ссорились, так как каждый хотел быть первым. They asked their father as they could not settle the question themselves. Они спросили отца, так как не могли разрешить этот вопрос сами. He was afraid to creep along the cornice. Он боялся ползти по карнизу. The girl followed the boy, creeping cautiously along the narrow cornice. Девочка следовала за мальчиком, проползая осторожно по узкому карнизу. The boy got out of the closet with his mouth full of jam. Мальчик вылез из чулана с полным ртом варенья. Sam, where's the copybook with your homework? The teacher asked. Сэм, где тетрадь с твоей домашней работой? Спросила учительница. I left it at home, Sam answered. I forgot to bring it. Я оставил ее дома, ответил Сэм. Я забыл принести ее. Well, then you must go home after school and bring it. Ну, тогда ты должен пойти домой после уроков и принести ее. Just as he was going to leave the room, he saw his friend. Как раз, когда он собирался выйти из комнаты, он увидел своего друга. Sam's friend was approaching the schoolhouse, holding Sam's copybook in his hand. Друг Сэма приближался к школе, держа тетрадь Сэма в руке. The doctor saw his daughter climbing up the tree. Доктор видел, как его дочь лезла вверх по дереву. The sight took his breath away. От этого зрелища у него захватило дыхание. The doctor stopped. He was afraid to move. Доктор остановился. Он боялся двинуться, шевельнуться. Finally, she began to feel better. Постепенно она стала чувствовать себя лучше. Страница 345. Упражнение 4. Read the anecdote and retell it in Russian. An unexpected answer. Did you tell your teacher that I helped you with your French exercise, Tom? Yes, I did. And what did he say? He said he would not keep me in today because it did not seem fair that I should suffer for your ignorance. Упражнение 5. Learn the following expressions. How are you getting along? Fine, thanks. Как поживаете? Спасибо, прекрасно. Let me take your measures. Разрешите снять с вас мерку. Да, я сниму с тебя мерку. Why didn't you put out the light in the kitchen? Honest, I did. Почему ты не погасил свет в кухне? Честное слово, погасил. She can't put up with her neighbors, and so they quarrel from morning till night. Она не может ужиться со своими соседями, так что они ссорятся с утра до вечера. He got stuck in the narrow gate and could not enter their garden. Он застрял в узкой калитке и не мог войти в сад. Where did they put up at? They put up at Ritz. Где они остановились? Они остановились в Ритце. Did she put off the lesson again? Yes, she did. Она опять отложила урок. Да. The boy cautiously followed the man along a narrow log. Мальчик осторожно следовал за человеком по узкому бревну. I am getting used to the noise in the classroom. Я начинаю привыкать к шуму в классе.